Hey there, history lovers. Welcome to History for Hot Girls, where we deep dive into the history of people, events, items, and ideas traditionally considered feminine. Hello, Michelle.
Hey,
It's been a while.
it's been a hot minute. It really has.
I have been missing recording so much.
Yeah, I think we both caught like some version of the plague.
Oh my God, like the world's worst illness ever.
Yeah,
So I'm glad that we're finally back and recovered.
yes, me too.
And now we get to talk about the horrors of medicine.
Amazing.
Yay! To introduce today's topic, I want to play a game. I'm going to read out a list of symptoms, and I want you to keep count of how many apply to you.
Okay.
And this goes to all of our fabulous listeners as well, okay? So as I'm reading these symptoms, you are going to keep count of how many apply to you.
Put a finger down if.
Yes,
yeah.
literally. So put a finger down if you have ever experienced any of the following: headaches, anxiety, insomnia, shortness of breath, heaviness in the abdomen, emotional outbursts, being dramatic or excited, exaggerated sexual desire or behavior, mood swings, loss of appetite, a tendency to cause trouble for others, forgetfulness, difficulty urinating or other UTI symptoms, a fondness for writing,
Guilty.
difficulty swallowing,
No.
IBS,
Guilty. All the time.
always, chest pain, tears and laughter, yawning, stretching and yawning, or delirium. How many did you get?
Damn near all of them.
Okay,
Especially IBS.
real. I'm so sorry to tell you that you have hysteria.
Send me to the seaside, baby.
Depending on the time period, being diagnosed with hysteria meant treatments ranging from house arrest to fumigation of the vag using feces.
No.
Yeah.
Not feces.
Yes.
Oh, the dung's back again.
It's back again. We just can't let go of this. It's horrendous. So, for those of you that might not have figured it out, today we are looking into, and we're doing a real deep dive, into the history and development of hysteria as a disease. So, hysteria, according to Tasker, Repetti, Carter, and Fatter, who are going to be referred to as Tasker and Friends from now on, in their text, Women and Hysteria in the History of Mental Health, it is, quote, undoubtedly the first mental disorder attributable to women. It's sometimes referred to as the wandering womb, based on the belief that the womb would dislodge itself and move around within the body, resulting in a long list of inexplicable symptoms.
Wait, when was this text written?
So this is a modern text
Okay,
talking. Okay, the wandering
gotcha.
womb is very, very old belief, but unfortunately sticks around for a really long time.
Got it.
So, treatment included fumigation with strong scents, exorcism rituals, sex, abstinence, pregnancy, hypnotism, and the kind of house arrest described in Charlotte Perkins Gilman's The Yellow Wallpaper. There's a lot of scholarly debate over whether or not hysteria is even a real illness, or if it's just like a catch-all term for basically anything that might be wrong with a woman because we're just simply too difficult to understand.
Female rage.
Yeah.
Basically.
You walk into a doctor's office in history and you're a woman, hysteria. Like, don't even worry about it.
Can't think of anything else, so let's just slap hysteria onto it.
Real. So, because of the nature of today's topic, I'm going to skip our usual segments. I'm going to keep to the general theme of the episodes. So we'll be going over the history of hysteria as a disease from ancient to modern times, its rise and fall from prominence, as well as modern reflections on the concept. But like, to be totally honest, I've spent the last 4 months doing the most insane deep dive on essentially the medical abuse of women. So I really don't want to follow that up with is hysteria still that girl? You know, it just feels a bit wrong.
It's giving trivial.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's also just a blanket content warning that I don't think it's that bad in part 1, but part 2 is going to be rough.
Okay.
So there's some uncomfortable discussion about just like medical mistreatment and stuff like that. Some pop culture sources allege that the concept of hysteria comes from ancient Egypt, specifically from two medical papyri. The first is the...
Your cat.
Oh my God. Oh, Rosie.
Rosie's like,
Hi, baby boy.
Hey, I want to be the star of the show right now. That's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Rosie.
Some pop culture sources allege that the concept of hysteria comes from ancient Egypt, specifically from two medical papyri. So the first is the Kahun gynecological papyrus. I don't know why. I cannot pronounce that word.
I can
it's
never
a struggle. Dating back to circa 1825 BC, so she's pretty old. It's the oldest known medical text in ancient history, with 34 different gynecological prescriptions. Okay.
You slayed that pronunciation.
Thank you so much. It's been a struggle. The second is the Abers Papyrus, dating to around 1550 BC. It's one of the most extensive medical texts from ancient Egypt, with around 700 remedies for all types of medical conditions. Interestingly, the Abers Papyrus also includes willow bark as a remedy for general aches and pains. And according to the National Library of Medicine, willow bark is, quote, the progenitor of aspirin.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love ancient Egypt medicine.
Oh my God, me too. They know what's up.
They knew what was going on.
They've got it figured out.
And the Abers Papyrus and the Kahun gynecological records, like they do.
Just flexing on me.
They do come in and out of some of our episodes. So I'm glad to hear they're back again.
They're back. They're a great source. The main modern source that supports this idea that this is where hysteria comes from, or sorry, not hysteria, but the wandering womb.
Okay, yeah.
So hysteria comes from the belief of the wandering womb, and we are currently discussing the idea of the wandering womb coming from ancient Egypt.
Cool.
The main source that supports this is medical historian Ilse Veith's book Hysteria, the History of a Disease, published in 1965. In it, she analyses both papyri for references to diseases relating to the womb, and specifically diseases relating to the womb moving around within the body.
Okay.
Her work has become somewhat of a classic within its field. However, her book on hysteria is founded on some shaky and unsubstantiated source analysis, an issue that seems to be extremely common within the study of hysteria overall. Mm-hmm. And you know, I like ripping apart a source when it's kind of shaky.
I love to see you just read a source for filth.
Her reading of the papyrus is just, the logic isn't quite as strong as she thinks it is, in my opinion.
Got it.
So, Veith, in her analysis of both papyri, states that, quote, certain behavioural disorders were associated with aberrations in the position of the womb. So, her belief is that both papyri explicitly discuss the wandering womb, and this is based on the argument that, quote, no other explanation for the symptoms was so much as suggested. So she's essentially saying that, well, clearly the wandering womb comes from ancient Egypt because they talk about issues with the womb in the papyri and they don't tell you what might cause it.
Okay, just that it happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
But neither papyrus actually offers anything in the way of diagnosis.
Oh.
Right, which is why I'm saying the logic is kind of shaky. They're basically just a go-to handbook for ways to treat symptoms. Mm-hmm. So it's a recommendation of treatments rather than a diagnostic handbook.
Got it.
The Kahun Papyrus, in fact, never explicitly mentions the uterus at all. The Abers Papyrus mentions movement of the uterus twice, but recent scholarship suggests it's referring to a prolapsed uterus rather than, you know, a pesky little organ setting off on an adventure through the body, magic school bus style. And those are two very different things.
Vastly different, yes.
So I hate to say it, but I think her whole argument is based on a bit of a logical fallacy. Just because no other explanations are mentioned in the text, it doesn't mean those explanations don't exist.
True.
We just don't have the sources to back it up. So the concept of the wandering womb actually originates from ancient Greece.
Those pesky Greeks.
I know, with every insane theory ever.
Yeah.
One of the earliest references to the idea comes from the myth of Melampus, who, according to Herodotus, introduced the worship of Dionysus.
Why am I not surprised Herodotus and Dionysus are both present in this?
They're always there. it always comes back to Herodotus and Dionysus, always, right? I've referred to Dionysus in my script as the Greek god of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, which is basically...
That's a fact.
That's him,
Historical
right?
fact.
Melampus became the ruler of Argos after curing King Proteus's daughters of insanity. Specifically, their insanity manifested as hypersexuality, which he cured through sacred baths and use of hellebore, which is like a herb, right?
Yeah.
So...
God forbid a girl feel a little Sorry. God forbid a girl feel a little frisky while she's ovulating.
Exactly.
Okay.
But she's crazy, right? So while hysteria isn't explicitly mentioned in this myth, hypersexuality is one of the only common hysteria symptoms throughout the centuries. And the use of baths and herbs was a common treatment in ancient times. And the concept of hysteria was also linked to Dionysian rituals, right? Such as the, oh my God, I didn't include their name in the script and I can't remember them now, but Dionysus's like female followers who would have those like ritual orgies.
I can't remember their names. Hang on.
Anyway.
Let's look it up. The Maenads.
Yes.
Or the Bacchae.
No, Maenads.
Maenads.
Definitely.
That translates to the raving ones.
The raving ones, perfect, because that's what their rituals were like.
Yes.
You know, it was these ritual orgies with a total lack of inhibition. They were characterized by hypersexuality, like the rending of their clothes and all of this.
This was like an ancient Greek fire festival, if you will.
Literally.
Yeah.
And it's all of these characteristics that actually links them to both suffering from and then therefore being cured of through these rituals, hysteria.
Gotcha.
Okay. So it's Hippocrates himself that first coined the term hysteria. Referred to as the father of medicine, it's understandable why his word was taken as gospel. Mm-hmm. According to the Hippocratic Corpus, a series of texts believed to be written by Hippocrates on a variety of medical diagnoses and treatments, he believed that if a woman did not have sex or bear children, her uterus would become agitated and move around the body.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So it was just like wandering around looking for the D.
Like when a dog gets like the zoomies. It's you know, it's like, where are the children? What's going on?
Yeah.
Why am I not fulfilling my purpose as a uterus?
Sad uterus.
I know.
Poor uterus.
Because that's all women are made for. Plato echoed these beliefs in his work Timaeus, stating that a uterus is, quote, so desirous of procreating that when remaining unfruitful long before its proper time, it gets discontented and angry, wandering in every direction through the body, closes up passages of the breath, and by obstructing respiration causes all varieties of disease.
Oh my God.
So if you don't have babies, your uterus is literally going to mutiny against you and try to kill you.
And stop you from breathing.
Yeah. And then that leads to all these other symptoms.
That is wild.
Right? And they were just like, yeah, cool. Hippocrates and Plato said it, so it must be true.
I mean, when have they ever been wrong?
Exactly. But this again reinforces the belief that women are just so desperate to be baby makers that we lose all sense and function when it doesn't happen.
I'm just at a loss for words here. Okay, well.
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, when I get my period, sometimes it does feel like my uterus is very angry at me.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Hey, props for that.
That's totally real. And you know what? If it just stuck to that, to talking about menstruation, I think I wouldn't have a single issue. Hippocrates also believed that the symptoms changed depending on where the womb had moved to in the body.
Oh.
So according to Hippocrates, quote, if the uterus seems to sit under the diaphragm, the woman suddenly becomes speechless. When the womb strikes the liver or abdomen, the woman turns up the whites of her eyes and becomes chilled. She grinds her teeth and saliva flows out of her mouth. These women resemble those who suffer from Heracles' disease, which in the modern day is known as epilepsy. If the womb lingers near the liver or abdomen, the woman dies of suffocation.
So, okay, so the different positions
of the womb
gives you different symptoms or
Yep.
diseases. Which one would you prefer? A little liver womb, a little diaphragm womb?
At that point, if my uterus was so desperate for children that it was actually like flinging around my body like a little pinball, I think I would just let it kill me. I think I would just die from suffocation.
Let it shrivel up and die.
Yeah, because it's not happening, bestie. You just take me with you, you know? What's that Mountain Goat song? I hope we both die.
Oh, God.
As easy as it would be to argue that hysteria is clearly an umbrella term for any illness that a woman is suffering from, Hippocrates makes a specific distinction between them. Epileptic seizures are a disorder of the brain, whereas hysterical seizures are a result of an agitated uterus.
Okay.
Tasker and friends describe hysterical seizures as, quote, a result of poisonous, stagnant humours, which, due to an inadequate sexual life, have never been expelled. For this reason, the uterus is prone to get sick, especially if it is deprived of the benefits arising from sex and procreation, which promote the cleansing of the body. In fact, in virgins, widows, or any other woman not frequently getting it on with her husband, it can, quote, produce toxic fumes, which causes, quote, disorders such as anxiety, tremors, convulsions, and paralysis.
This is so outrageous.
The healing power of the D, right? However,
Wild.
frequent sexual activity in holy matrimony is more of a prevention than a cure.
Okay.
When women are diagnosed with hysteria, the treatments often included, quote, acrid or fragrant fumigation of the face and genitals to push the uterus back into its natural place inside the body.
Doesn't Gwyneth Paltrow have something like this?
Yes, her... Is it an egg? It's like a jade
Maybe
egg.
it's a little egg.
Yeah,
okay.
Is it a jade egg?
I have no idea. It's something.
She has something that you put up
put
the
into your
vag.
vagina, yeah. And it would not surprise me if she developed like some kind of incense for it.
This, you know what? That was a huge oversight in my research. I forgot to include Gwyneth Paltrow.
Credible source, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Well, she's got that vagina candle.
Yes. Oh my God. See, that's what they didn't have back then.
Yeah.
The goop vagina candle.
Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina specifically would have cured hysteria in ancient times.
Like, low-key, I wouldn't mind giving it a go just to see if it does cure my IBS, anxiety,
Your hysteria,
my stretching, whatever the fuck, my love of writing,
yawning, causing trouble for others.
Yes.
Look, wax and charcoal at least makes sense. Like charcoal, especially as like an antioxidant or whatever it is.
At the next family barbecue, there's going to be some seeds.
Just scraping all the charcoal, being like, this is for my vag, I need this for my hysteria. Oh, okay.
Wild.
We'll just like never get invited anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think my family's going to have a barbecue ever again after this.
We're causing trouble for others. It's a symptom of hysteria.
Oop, oop.
Oop. In ancient Greece, the fumigation treatments included burning wool, asphalt, sulfur, and pitch, along with sweet-smelling ointments. The areas they're applied to depend on where the uterus has wandered to, allowing the mix of scents to essentially guide it back to where it belongs, which is kind of crazy.
It sounds like the most unhinged spa day you'll ever have.
Real. Like it's just some like annoying animal that you're trying to be like, here boy, come on. Come follow the frankincense, you know. So Faraoni also presents the idea that these treatments share a number of similarities with religious rituals of the ancient world. He argues that, quote, the use of sweet smells to attract the womb back to the lower body is similar to the use of incense in Greek sanctuaries to entice gods to come and receive sacrifice, and the use of acrid smells is similar to Greek and Near Eastern purification rituals to drive away evil demons. By using these treatments, he says, quote, Greek doctors treat the womb as a sentient animal and also as a powerful supernatural entity.
Ooh.
So we actually just have like a demon just chilling in our bodies.
Yeah.
Right? He also provides archaeological evidence from Rome during the Augustan period, including a small gold tablet found near Beirut, inscribed in Greek with the command, quote, I adjure you, womb of Ipsa, remain in the spot of Ipsa. It was found inside a cylindrical amulet case, implying that this amulet was worn as a protection to prevent her womb from moving.
You know what? Get me that gold amulet.
Real.
I'll wear gold amulets.
Real.
Bring that back.
Yes.
Bring it back.
To stop my uterus from just
Wandering.
wandering around and ruining my day. Likewise, a series of hematite gemstones from Imperial Rome were found inscribed with images of a womb with the command, stop. Which is my personal favourite. Just stop.
If only it were that easy.
You shall not pass. Like, you know. In 1997, a lead sheet was discovered in England, inscribed in Latin, quote, "Womb, I say to you, stay your place, which the God gave to you. I adjure you, do not hold onto the side, but stay in your place." A 4th century recipe in a Greek magical handbook says, quote, "I adjure you, womb, return again to your seat and do not lean into the right part of the ribs nor the left, nor take a bite into the heart like a dog, but stop and remain in your proper place."
It's giving stop. I don't like it. Oh my God. That's crazy.
And the fact that there's so many of them shows that this was a really common belief, right?
Yeah. This was just everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And like all over different parts of the world too.
Yes. Yeah, the Roman Empire. However, there were at least a few people in the ancient world who had a little bit of common sense.
Thank God.
Finally. Soranus, a Greek physician from the 2nd century, credited with writing the first complete midwifery text in history.
Yes, love him.
Right. Says, quote, "We censure all of these men, for the uterus does not issue forth like a wild animal from its lair, delighted by fragrant odours and fleeing bad ones." King. Likewise, Galen, a Greek doctor practicing in Rome, says, quote, "The womb certainly does not move from one place to another like a wandering animal." So, how exactly did these men figure out that the womb does not, in fact, journey around the body like the Fellowship looking for Mordor?
And why? My precious. And why were they not listened to?
Well, it's because of a funky little medical procedure called human dissection.
Ooh.
During these dissections, it was discovered that the womb is not, in fact, some magically levitating organ, and it is instead secured in place by ligaments. As one would expect.
Imagine that.
Right. So these dissections weren't actually a thing during the time of Hippocrates. Okay. It became a thing during the time of like Galen and Soranus.
So maybe like a few hundred years later?
Yeah, I can't remember the actual dates, and for some reason I did cut them from the script, but I'll put them like in the description because it is important that we know that.
Cute.
Despite this discovery, however, belief in hysteria caused by a wandering womb continued well into the Middle Ages and the modern day. Because something as silly as biological evidence isn't going to stop lazy doctors from misdiagnosing women. Please.
Hard work? Forget about it.
I know. That's a woman. As if I'm going to diagnose her properly.
Can't be bothered.
So, during the Middle Ages with the spread of Christianity, the concept of hysteria also spread across the world. Some people still believed it was linked to demons, while other people started to believe that it was perhaps a physical illness instead. There was a lot of discussion about the 4 humours, bodily fluids that were thought to indicate specific illnesses or personality traits. Blood for courage, phlegm for apathy, yellow bile for anger, and black bile for melancholy. According to Tasker and friends, Hildegard of Bingen, quote, attempted to reconcile science with faith by linking the origin of black bile to original sin. She also stated, quote, melancholic women are infertile because of a weak and fragile uterus. A lot of discussions about hysteria in this time were based on the perceived inferiority of women. St. Thomas Aquinas even referred to women as, quote, a failed man, which, like, rude. However, the most interesting and direct reference to hysteria came towards the end of the Middle Ages. Brogan, in his article Gender and Medicine in Early Demonic Possession, describes the case of Richard Maney in 1585, who claimed to be possessed and suffering from hysteria. At the time, it was referred to as suffocation of the mother, with the mother meaning the womb.
Oh.
Okay, so hysteria is still very much understood to be like a woman's disease, but we have this guy claiming to be suffering from it. He was exorcised to treat his hysteria as part of a larger movement of exorcisms in the area. His case is also alleged to have influenced Shakespeare's writing of King Lear, but I can't comment on that because I haven't read King Lear, but it's something about like the cross-dressing and like treatment of, I don't know, like treating a man as a woman or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't read King Lear.
I haven't either.
Any Shakespeare girlies who are listening, please sound off in the comments. Let us know because I would love to know more about this personally. Ultimately, even though Richard Maney claimed to be suffering from hysteria, thus proving it can affect men as well, the disease was still seen as incredibly gendered, and women suffering from hysteria were often subjected to exorcisms or some kind of spiritual treatment, especially in the 17th century. In Edward Jordan's 1603 book Brief Discourse of a Disease Called Suffocation of the Mother, he links demonic possession to hysteria, which interestingly we saw links to all the way back in ancient history with some of the amulets and tablets connected to the wandering womb.
Cool.
However, there were treatments outside of exorcism. We know about them mostly because of physician Giovan Battista Codronci.
So's dude.
Sorry. Who described these treatments specifically to criticize them.
Okay.
He stated that, quote, midwives, recalling earlier teachings, took care of hysterical women by introducing the fingers in their genital organs in order to stimulate orgasm and semen production.
Huh?
Semen in this case referring to a woman's, you know.
Her fluids.
That's worse.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
It is pretty gross. So hold on. So they were just like fingering these ladies.
Yes, but it was specifically midwives.
Specifically midwives.
Yes.
Okay.
So this was done to trick the body into thinking that a baby might be on the way, therefore calming down a hysterical uterus.
Oh my God.
Right? However, it's important to note that this was not a popular treatment or a common one.
So you couldn't just go get fingered
and then go home. Yeah,
okay.
No.
That's unlucky.
I know. They were mostly administered by midwives when they were administered, aka other women.
Yep.
And he states that it's inappropriate for a male doctor to participate in these treatments.
Absolutely.
Partially because it's a violation of the ethics around being a doctor, and partially because of the popular views on abstinence at the time, but mostly because he believed that hysteria was based on demonic possession and treatment had to be left to priests. So close yet so far. So, you know.
Point. This dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very hit and miss in the Middle Ages because, you know, there's so much going on culturally and they're all just kind of like, it's demons. Maybe it's not demons. No, it's demons.
It could be demons.
It could be demons. That's a really good title for like the next edition of the DSM. It could be demons.
I think that's the title of our this episode.
It could be demons. Yes, done. Ideas around hysteria began to change in the 18th century. So people's lives began to change as they shifted away from farms and serfdom to industrial city living.
Yeah.
Men and women alike began to struggle in these new cities as pollution, dangerous working conditions, and the perils of unemployment began to take their toll. Suddenly, it wasn't just women who were being diagnosed with hysteria, but men too. While women were seen as more susceptible to hysteria, the condition itself was instead blamed on the foul air and moral corruption of city living, as suggested by French physician Joseph Rowland. According to Roy Porter in Hysteria Beyond Freud, quote, the coming of mass society democratized the disorder. Almost anyone was up for being diagnosed with hysteria, not just the rich noble women of society's past. Physician Thomas Willis, a pioneer in the neurological field, had suggested in the 17th century that hysteria was related to the brain and the nervous system instead of the uterus, and his theories began to gain traction too.
So we're getting a little warmer here.
Yes, we're starting to get closer to an actual medical understanding of women, but we're still very, very far away from that. These new modern theories also led to new modern treatments. Gone were the days of fumigation in the temples, exorcism at the hands of a priest, or a more hands-on treatment from the local midwife.
A little bit of lesbianism.
Instead, German physician Franz Anton Mesmer suggested a method of treatment known as mesmerism. He believed in an invisible force flowing through all living beings, referred to as animal magnetism. He believed that this force could be manipulated to cure illnesses. Mesmer would get his patients to drink a liquid that had iron filings in it and then get them to sit or lay down in a room with the lights dimmed and some relaxing music playing. When treating hysteria patients, he would induce things like convulsions and seizures in order to help cure them. However, this treatment was somehow more controversial than getting friendly with the local midwife. Polite society of the time was horrified at the idea of Mesmer putting his hands on young unmarried women, and he was even the subject of a royal commission in France in 1784 that found that his practices were, to put it politely, bullshit. Despite this, Mesmer's work became the foundation for later studies in hypnosis, which, you guessed it, became another treatment for hysteria.
Is this where the term mesmerized
Yes.
comes from?
Yes.
Etymology.
Crazy, right?
That's so interesting.
Yeah, this guy who was like, I can cure you with
Yeah.
my iron filings in your body,
Oh my God.
which I'm sure is causing no damage.
Ooh.
The 19th century is where studies on hysteria really begin to pop off.
Okay.
According to Porter, hysteria's, quote, investigation and treatment made the fame and fortunes of towering medical figures. Hysteria came to be seen as the open sesame to impenetrable riddles of existence, religious ecstasy, sexual deviation, and above all, that mystery of mysteries, women.
I mean, we could just listen to them.
Yeah. Not only was there a renewed interest in hysteria in the medical field, but it was becoming more and more common in society. There are references to hysteria epidemics in Victorian workhouses, and asylum records from the time have ample reference to hysteria in patient paperwork. The scientific discoveries of these aforementioned, quote, towering medical figures, such as Freud, my good
man.
friend and renowned freak,
Friend of the pod.
confirmed that hysteria was a women's disease and was caused by something innate in women. According to French physician Auguste Faber in 1883, quote, all women are hysterical and every woman carries with her the seeds of hysteria. Fun times ahead. Thank you so much for listening to part 1 of our deep dive into hysteria. This podcast was recorded on the traditional lands of the Cabral clan of the Darug Nation. We pay respects to the traditional owners of the land and acknowledge their rich oral history and storytelling traditions. We would love to keep spilling the tea on history's hottest people, events, items, and ideas, but for now, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow History for Hot Girls on socials. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and share with your fellow history girlies. Until next time, bye!